happy day, and thanks you for visiting my channel. If you're new here, my name is Miriam. I'm a numerologist. I read numbers. I just do random number generations and then read them out based off of essentially what your guides, your angels, the source, the people who are talking to you and giving you the messages. I told them update. Apparently, you have an update closing because I that thing should be closed. Okay. Update for you. So you're getting an update today. Also, because it's 9:55 my time. That's a 5-5 with a 9. You yourself getting an update. Okay, so I'm going to generate these numbers to update you on what your current status of essence is around you and whatnot. Okay? So let's go ahead and generate that. The last number was 513. If you want to check that out, you can look at the video prior to this one, numerologically, uh, 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 chronologically. Today's number is 816. So this little update is about the material world, the business, the individuality that you hold in it, and the passion that you hold for it. Because that's the big thing that separates people. Even if we're doing stuff, we're all doing it for a different reason, with a different why, a different passion, essentially. There is, what is that, 1-5? Yeah, 1-5. Because it's 816, that's going to be 15. With a 1-5, so you're starting to expand and change into this. You're spreading into this. It feels good. It feels like a relief because every time I talk about this business idea or this whatever, I just get good energy. I just feel good. My heart feels happy. I'm ready to start. I want to start. I want to initiate. And ultimately, it's leading to another 6 through a 1-5, or 5-1 even, just depending on how you want to use your numbers or your numbers to use. You have 816, 156. Okay. We also have a 9 or a 7, just depending on how you want to mash your numbers together. These are your numbers to use. You're getting 816 for some reason. Maybe August 16th. August is coming up. Something might be happening August 16th for you. You might be a Leo, because that's a Leo. Um, 8 is also half of 6, or of 16. 8 is half of 6, did you know? 8 is half of 16, or 16 is double of 8. Are you halving yourself or multiplying yourself? Is the thing that you're doing halving you or multiplying you? If it's dividing you in any way, then, and not multiplying you, so then it's capable to divide you. Because that's the thing too. It's like it's okay to divide, but like let's multiply first, so then there's enough to go around. You know, you know what I'm saying. Um, there is a certain purpose and fulfillment for you that is going to be lucrative for you. Um, in whatever way that needs to be. Because, like, I look at stuff holistically, but for the most part, people need money to live in this society. That's what they say. I need, I need, I need it. I need it. My throat wants to cough just saying it. If you say, I need 50 cents, essentially that's a prayer or a spell or this thing that you're telling the universe. You're talking to the universe every time not to make you feel like everything I say is going to matter, but things that you say to yourself matters, because that's what you are upholding. That's the story you're upholding within yourself. And so as of late, you may have been upholding the belief that you need. And when you believe you need, then that's all that it's going to show up, is the things that you need. But I promise you, baby girl, you have every thing you need. And that's what they're telling you. This whole karmically, this is something that is for you, for your passions. And it's based in this give and take, okay? So, like, essentially, whenever I say this pretty often, but like, you go outside, or you're sitting there in your bed and you're thinking, oh, I should really go outside. And you really don't want to go outside. And you really don't want to go outside, but you're like, oh, I want to go for a walk. And so then you go for a walk and you finally get yourself out of bed and whatnot and you go for a walk. And then afterwards, you feel really good. That was a good thing. Now, if you go for a walk and you don't feel good, maybe that walk wasn't for you. Maybe it was too hot. Maybe there's too much pollen in the area that you're walking. You're allergic to it. There are certain things that we can look at. We can observe. We can turn our eights to the side. Trixie Mattel, I think, did that. We can turn our eights to the side and look through him as glasses. But you go and hang out with a friend, and every time you hang out with that friend, it's like when you leave, you're just like bouncing off the walls, and you're up all night, and you're just like talking, and you're like, oh, why am I up so late? Because you're having fun. You had fun with somebody, and they filled your cup, and they gave you good energy. And so now y'all are both having a good time. Now, if you hang out with somebody and it's the opposite, that every time you hang out with them, then all of a sudden it's like there's some type of disconnect there. That means you're not really vibing. You're not vibing. That's 8 energy. That's 8 saying, okay, we put something in, time goes on, it goes through the cycle, comes back, and this is the reaction. That's what communication is like. If you ever have studied speech and communication, it's like, I have a thought. I say the thought. The thought is heard. The thought is taken in. They have a thought in response to my thought, if they weren't already thinking about what they wanted to say anyway. They say something. I take it in. Then I think of something. You see? It doesn't have to be an infinity symbol. It could just stop at any point because somebody could just stop talking. But while that's happening, this is an exchange of energy, y'all. Communication. Even if we're not speaking with our words, we are communicating with energy constantly. And it comes deep from in the heart chakra. Especially seeing this 6, ultimately in a 6, in a Leo season that rules the heart and the heart chakra. Let me just tell you, the sun, all of that stuff. This is a time for you to understand and treat yourself like a kind partner, like a loving partner. One that is loyal to you and devoted to you and not going to hurt you. And just trust they're not going to hurt you. And that's the relationship that the universe has with you. It's just, even saying the word just, there's just so many limiting beliefs that surround, and not even specifically your language. Yes, you can start focusing on your language. Focusing on your language helps you be more aware of your mental language as well, just by taking note and being present in those moments. So they're good practices, and sometimes that can also lead to a bit more derailing sometimes. So it's, if you're not giving yourself grace in things, then that means you are derailing. Okay? If you're being like, oh, I'm not good enough for this, and I know sometimes it's hard to see it too, because like if somebody else talks mess about you, you're like, mm-mm. But then when you're by yourself, you're over here just do, and this and that to yourself. But like when somebody says like, oh, you can't do this thing. Oh, I'm gonna stay in the call. When they say that you can't do this thing, then all of a sudden you know for sure whether or not you can do something. Now, if somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, or if you ask somebody, hey, can I do this? And you say yes, or they say yes, you'll doubt them. And so there are people that have to come into your life to tell you no, so you can doubt them. Because it doesn't matter what their answer is, you're gonna doubt. what they have to say. Because quite honestly, you don't trust their judgment. You barely even trust your own judgment. So it could be frustrating having people in your life who are like, mm-mm. But sometimes that's the ignition that you need, the fuel that you need to be like, actually, fuck you. And I'm going to do what I want because you're stupid. You don't have to throw up your middle fingers, but they're yours. You don't actually have to be that high vibes to be happy. You don't have to be some type of mold that you expect it to be. You have to be you. And not necessarily the you that's attached to your ego, but the individual that is your soul, your purpose, your calling. And you know what your calling is? It's a thing that you keep being saying, no, I don't want to do that. And I'm not talking about like, oh, like I don't want to eat a million. Like, I mean, I would love to eat a whole cake right now, but I wouldn't be able to, and I would be sick afterwards, real sick. But I want that. I desire that. That's not my calling. That's other things. My calling, perhaps, is like, oh, you know what? To give an example, I hate English class. I don't really like reading books. I found out as an adult that I am dyslexic. Um, but I was just making it work, okay? Because I was still able to just make it work and jump through enough hoops to pass, you know? But I hated it. They used to make us write books, hated that. Used to comprehend these things, hated that. Now, if I was reading books on my own at home, that was fine. But as soon as it became an assignment, I stopped reading. I had read all these books growing up. But as soon as it became this difficulty, I stopped reading. And I definitely wasn't journaling or writing in a diary or anything like that. But again and again, year after year, I get pecked and pecked and pecked to write something. I've written things now reluctantly and begrudgingly. I even wrote an entire book that was 200 pages long, 200 plus pages long. I think 250, but I'm just saying 200. Completely got deleted. Pissed me off for a little bit, not gonna lie, but it made me rethink. It made me think, the universe must have a reason for this. And so the book that I'm working on in response to that deleted book is something that is far more aligned with my actual purpose that is individual to me, that is specific to my situation and how I do things and my personality. Just like that is the same for, I guess you, since you're listening to this or something, or whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna be hopping off now. I've got things to do. I wasn't even supposed to hop on this, but my random number generator was right there, it popped up, and I was like, you know what? That's sign enough for me to do it. What I will say is 9-6 and not 6-9, because 9-6 from left to right, 6-9 from right to left. Anyway, that there's no response. Like, you probably won't know what I'm talking about with those numbers unless you know what I'm talking about with those numbers. Because if you're a numerologist, which I also, if you're coming here, I promise you, that soon, very, very soon, you too will be a numerologist. So keep a lookout for the numbers and stay synchronized.